Hello and welcome back. I'm Nicole, a cottage witch, and today I'm doing my, book and deck acquisitions and a few other odds and ends for August. I'll start with the books because I've got them stacked up in front of me. They're about to fall over, and but I'll timestamp the decks in case anybody should want to just skip to that. So okay, so this is the one I'll start with. So I'll get to some manner of book reading wrap-up video at some point that was real coherent, but I read An Ode Less Traveled by Stephen Fry, and I read a lot of poetry, but my favorite form in English is the sonnet, hands down. It's just, I love it. I think it's beautiful. Some people do it better than others. Edna St. Vincent Millay is my favorite. But on Amazon I found this, The Penguin Book of the Sonnet, 500 Years of a Classical Tradition in English, for like $13. So I got it. It goes through, like, it starts at Chaucer and Petrarch, which is an Italian, which I cannot read. But there is a sonnet named after him, so I guess that's why that's in there, or a form of sonnet named after him. Anyway, they're like 500 sonnets in here. I don't know if there are actually that many, but there are a lot, as you can see. So it starts in the early 1500s, it looks like, early to mid, and I don't know a lot of these people. I mean, Edmund Spenser I've heard of. Not sure I've actually read anything from him, but I've heard of him. I don't know if that counts for anything. Shakespeare, of course. And then continues on to more well-known people. I haven't read much in the way of Gerald Manley Hopkins, or Christina Rossetti, or W.B. Yeats. So there's some people in here who, like, I know of, but I haven't read them yet. And I figured, since I like sonnets, I should maybe give this a go. It seems kind of fun. And it's got all sorts of people, like right up to pretty well, I mean, maybe not quite present day, because when was this published? But pretty close. This was published in why can I not see it? Am I losing my mind? 2001. Okay. So, you know, 1500 to 2001, that's not bad. 500 years worth of, as the title says, sonnets. So yeah, really looking forward to this. I'm hoping that it will have some newer-ish people that I quite like, and can dive into a bit more, because I'm not overly fond of most free verse. It doesn't do a lot for me. I find most of it too, like, lazy and sloppy and just like a splat on the page, like that, which just does nothing for me. Though some is good, you know, like I've read some that I like, but yeah, mostly it's not for me. So anyway, that'll be fun. And then, because I'm a geek, I got a couple of books about Gothic literature because a couple other YouTubers, Bailey, I think she just changed her channel name lately to Bailey Jean, and Rachel at Second Thoughts About the Mission or From the Mission. Oh, now I can't remember. Anyway, they do Gothlit November in the fall, or they did last year, and it sounds like they're going to do it again this year. So that'll be fun, which is basically just reading a lot of Gothic literature. I think they've got like 4 different categories or something. So I may have prepped myself a reading list, and these are on it. So this is basically a English lit textbook by Sue Chaplin, who teaches in Leeds Metropolitan University. I assume that's in the UK somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure. I could find Leeds on a map. Anyway, cultural overview, texts, writers, and context. So it goes through a lot of the key early Gothic writers ooh, into 20th century American, which is fun. Also, the font is quite large, larger than I expected it to be. And then modern British Gothic, which I know less about because I'm Canadian, so all the media we get is at least American adjacent, and like authors who tend to be well known, either if they're well known in either Britain or America. In Canada, we're more likely to hear about the American ones these days. I don't know if that made sense. It made sense in my head. Anyway, and then theories and debates. Should be fun times, I think. And then I got the Cambridge Companion to Gothic Fiction. So there are like 170 of these books, the Cambridge Companion to this, that, and the other. I really want to get the one on the Brontes. And someday, I want to get the ones on Mary Shelley and Virginia Woolf. There are a couple other Gothic ones too. There's modern American Gothic, and then Southern American, no, I can't remember. A couple of different American Gothic ones, one more modern than the other. And then some other kind of Gothic adjacent. They also have like the Cambridge Companion to Crime Fiction, the Cambridge Companion to Edgar Allan Poe, like just all sorts of 170 of these books. It's nuts. But they're all like $40 each, so they're not super cheap either. In Canada, I don't know what that is in American, more than $40. So anyway, it's a collection of essays, as you can see from, they actually put the contents in the back. I assume these are all academics who each write a different essay about Gothic fiction, which seems cool because I'm a geek, as I said. And then I got Eco-Gothic, which is a newer book featuring the sort of subgenre that revolves around terror around like climate change and things like that, and the environment just doing really freaky things. There are some, I think, that predate stress and anxieties about climate change, specifically to just general, you know, wilderness type things. But I think today it's more about climate change. But anyway, that should be at least interesting. This book began with a panel on Eco-Gothic at the International Gothic Association's conference. I didn't know there was an International Gothic Association. Cool. So that's that. And then the Gothic Body, Sexuality, Materialism, and Degeneration at the Fin de Siècle. This one I got secondhand because it's out of print, I think. Or if it's in print, it's one of those stupid expensive academic books, because it's a Cambridge University Press book. And academic books, there are a couple others that I'd read too if they weren't like $120, but no thank you. I'm not a student anymore. I don't have to pay academic textbook prices. Thanks for trying though. Okay, so this one goes through the Gothic material world, Gothic bodies, Gothic sexualities, and then narrative chaos in the afterword. Cool. I'm not really sure what to expect of this, but the title sounded pretty cool. This book accounts for the resurgence of Gothic and its immense popularity during the fin de siècle. Fine. Yeah, abhuman identity in its place. Social medicine, evolutionism, criminal anthropology, and degeneration theory. Yeah, cool. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad, but it sounds intriguing. And then, so Julia, I'm reading another book on the Gothic at the moment. No, I read another book on the Gothic. In my last wrap-up, I talked about it, I think. And Julia Kristeva was one of the authors who was mentioned a couple times, because she is an academic who writes these sort of essay books on just all sorts of super interesting topics. Does it have, let's see if it has other things she's written. Desire in Language, Powers of Horror, that's this one. Revolution in Poetic Language, Strangers to Ourselves, Black Sun, Depression and Melancholia, Dostoevsky, In the Face of Death, or Language Haunted by Sex. So she just seems like she has interesting ideas, basically. So this is about abjection, I think, specifically. Yeah, the nature of abjection. Attitudes towards repulsive subjects, and examines the functions of these topics in the writings of a few authors. The eruption of the real and the presence of death. She explores how art and religion each offer ways of purifying the abject. Which, you know, kind of sounds interesting. I don't know. I don't read a lot of horror, but I've been reading about horror lately for some reason. I read mostly, if I'm going to read horror, it's going to be in the Gothic vein. But on that note, I did read a Kingfisher novel lately, which was a lot of fun. So, yeah, we'll see. And then I got Horror Stories, Classic Tales from Hoffman to Hodgson, which, you know, now that it's almost fall, it's basically fall. I'm gonna call it fall because I like fall and I'm not a hot weather person. I'm a wimp. I'm Canadian. I can't deal with, like, I would die in Florida. Okay, so these are just a lot of classic horror short stories. So there's, I don't know Hoffman, but I've heard of him. Like, I've heard of in passing, but I don't know much about him. Balzac, Poe, Sheridan Le Fanu. What did he write? Carmilla? Was that the guy who wrote Carmilla? That was a fun story. Hawthorne. The only thing I've read by Nathaniel Hawthorne is The Scarlet Letter, and that did, oh yeah, that took a lot out of me. Melville. I've got to read more of his short stories because I love Moby Dick, but I've got a book of his short stories. Haven't read it yet. Zola, Dickens, yeah, okay. Robert Louis Stevenson. Oh, the Yellow Wallpaper's in here. So then it gets into a few that I know. And then Doyle, Arthur Conan Doyle and Bram Stoker, who I've read before. The Monkey's Paw, that's a good one. I like that one. It's very sad, actually. It's more sad than creepy. It's a tint creepy, mostly sad. The Wendigo I'm a little skeptical about because it's written by, I think, an Englishman or an Irishman or something about a figure in Indigenous spirituality in Canada. So yeah, we'll see. You'll be fine. I don't know. Anyway, that's that little book of short stories for the fall. And then I got this at a used bookstore as well, The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Lavelle. So the Three Girls One Deck ladies are doing a book club, sort of book club-ish thing. I think in about a month they're gonna do a live with his book Lone Women, which I read and is really good. I don't see, the thing about horror is I thought I didn't like it, and then but the experience of reading it first of all at different points in your life is one thing, but the experience of reading it like a physical copy versus listening to an audiobook is just stunningly different. And I think somehow if I listen to it on an audiobook, the gross and like outright horror elements bother me less somehow. I don't know how that works. Maybe, you know, it's just a weird, you know, people's brains are different thing. But because I read Stephen Graham Jones, what's it called? The Only Good Indians. And I remember really liking the writing style, but not being able to handle the genre. There was, as I recall, a lot of blood. And that's just not usually for me. And there was a fair bit of that in Lone Women. But for some reason it didn't affect me in the same way. I don't know. I liked the book. Yeah. Beats me why that works sometimes. And anyway. That's a very long-winded way of saying, now I'm intrigued by this one. And it's just a little one. And I found it at a used bookstore, so I thought, yeah, sure. I'll give it a go. And then, okay, these are also Goth Lit November related. Actually, basically all of these are. So this is Giovanna Rivero's Fresh Dirt from the Grave. She is Bolivian. maybe Bolivian, I think, from South America. These next two books are they've both been called either Tropical Gothic or Latin American Gothic. And I'm trying to read around the world, so yeah, Bolivia. So she's going to be my book from, my author from Bolivia that I'm going to read. And then this one is Human Sacrifices by Maria Fernanda Ampuero, and I think she's Ecuadorian, I want to say, but I could be wrong. No, Ecuador. Okay, cool. So these two books I've heard are really good, or really interesting anyway, so we'll see. I mean, they've been compared to Mexican Gothic, but I don't know if that's just because they're like Mexican Gothic, or if that's just because Mexican Gothic is a known entity that is Gothic and Latin American. You know, like, do Mexican writers and Ecuadorian writers have much in common besides Spanish? I have no idea. It's one of those marketing comparisons that have been made, but I don't know if it's a useful comparison or not. But anyway, I've heard good things about both of these, so that'll be fun. And then I got The Mad Woman in the Attic, The Woman Writer and the 19th Century Literary Imagination. Now, I think Rachel read this last year, and I think Bailey also read it, but I can't remember, for Gothlit November. I could just be merging the two women in my head. That's a distinct possibility, because I think I found both of their channels just shortly before Gothlit November last year. Anyway, that's how I heard of this book, was through that hashtag. The Woman Writer and the 19th Century Literary Imagination. And this is a chunky one, but it sounds very much up my alley. So it's got sections on Towards the Feminist Poetics, Jane Austen, who I'm not overly fond of, Milton's Daughters, Charlotte Bronte, love Charlotte Bronte. Oh, it's got a section with Mary Shelley, Emily Bronte. Excellent. George Eliot, Emily Dickinson. See, I'm a fan. I like these women. I like all of these women except maybe Jane Austen. Apologies to the big Austen fans out there. I'm very sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. So those are all the books I got? Yes. And then I got a little bowl of this, that, and the other. Oh, no, wait. I did get one more book that I wrote down on a sticky note. There was another pile because I read it this month, which is on the subject of blackberries. Oh, I'm getting a little dark here. Well, there's a storm rolling in, so it's going to be I don't know, consider it a moody fall video, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, this is free verse poetry, but the subject matter is really intriguing. So this was about her postpartum experiences. She had postpartum depression. She was diagnosed with OCD around the same time. And of course, I mean, I've never had a baby, but I could well imagine having another human growing inside your body would be, at least sometimes, a very strange and surreal, if not outright disconcerting experience. Because, you know, it's not entirely yours anymore. You've got another thing happening there. So that's what this is about. She does seem to be, I think on Instagram she says she's a witch, so some of these occulty things come up, different like poisonous plants and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I expect that's her daughter. I can't remember who does the illustrations, Jennifer Barnes, but there's some kind of nice like illustrations throughout. I don't know, I kind of like this style. It's slightly old-fashioned. I don't know what you call it. I'm not an art history sort of person, but I like it. Like, that's cute. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll reread it, which doesn't happen with a lot of modern poetry, but I got this because it won the which prize? Bram Stoker prize for poetry last year. And I thought, I didn't know they had a Bram Stoker prize for poetry. That sounds intriguing. So I got it. And it's intriguing, in fact. Okay. And then, oh, I have some other treasures because I always come home from walks with treasures. So there's a magpie feather, a bit of lily, and then some dried poppy leaves. I don't know if you can see them. Look really, it's really bizarre. Like that, it's just, I don't know. They just are very strange looking things. There's something slightly weird going on there because they're almost translucent. I mean, they are kind of translucent. You can hold them up to the light and see the light through them. And then I got some poppy. I've got to shake the poppy seeds out of this to save them for next year. Yeah, so that's a slight dorky tangent. And then I got the Pathwork Oracle. The artwork is by Anatolian. This Daniel Ahern I hadn't heard of before, but it's got apparently, and I haven't looked this up yet, but there are allegedly online guided meditations that go with a lot of them. Does it say? I'm just flipping through really quickly here. Not sure what these symbols are about. Also, if you can hear the wind blowing or some strange sound outside, it's because a thunderstorm is rolling in, which I'm excited about. As long as there's no hail this time. Which I don't think there's supposed to be. Anyway, this is a Green Terra inspired deck, and Green Terra, if you don't know, is either a Buddha or Bodhisattva, depending on who you ask. She's been described as both in things that I've read about her. Oh, I have shuffled this and used it, so it's not in any sort of order anymore. Some of these, I don't know if that, the actual word, like if that actually means fear, because I haven't read the guidebook yet. But, I mean, it's Anatolian's artwork, so is this gonna even show up? One moment. And I will turn on an overhead light. Okay. That's better, I think. So it might be a bit glary, but my options are shadow or glare at the moment. Nothing I can do about the weather. So yeah, I have to look up some of these, but Green Terra is an intriguing figure to me. I've got a couple of books about her. I've only read one of them. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I thought Green Terra, Anatolian, guided meditations, I'll give it a go. And it's very pretty, because, I mean, of course it is. So, yeah, that was fun. I mean, slightly less fun that I had to order it in through Amazon US. I mean, could I have been patient until they released it in Canada? Yeah, but that would be sometime next year, I think, or maybe later this year, I don't know. And I wasn't. But it's not actually too expensive. I mean, it's mass market. Who is it? By US Games. Oh yeah, that's why I couldn't get it in Canada right away. So anyway, that's that. So I will have to read through the guidebook because some of these things I see have meaning that I do not know at this point. And oh yeah, there's a bit of glare on this one. Interesting. Yeah, that's that about the Pathwork Oracle. And then this is possibly the most excited I've been. But I mean, I haven't gotten a lot of decks. So have I gotten any deck? Did I get anything last month? I don't think so. Anyway, point is, I'm excited about the Heartwood Tarot. So I have opened this already. This cute little guy was on the, oops, right way around, on the box. And it's the same, I mean, production quality and style of box as they always produce. It's gorgeous. I mean, they do incredible work together. it came with a bunch of extras. So these are cards I pulled out of the deck. These are the usual, just sort of quick meanings. There are a couple of blank ones on the front and back, I think they were. There's their social media stuff. And then a little thank you for purchasing. Oh, there's a dragon on the back. Well, that's cute. Very adorable. All right. And then stickers and things that I haven't gone through yet. I think this is this from the, I don't know if this is from one of the cards yet or not. I feel like it probably is, but I don't know. It's real cute though. Little mice stickers, which I can appreciate now that my apartment doesn't seem to actually have mice indoors anymore. A little rabbit. Oh, that's a cute little mouse knight. And this, very sweet. I don't know if I showed those properly. I got distracted actually looking at them and not looking at what I was holding up to the camera, because I am not an expert filmographer. I don't know. What is this? This will be the certificate of authenticity. Alrighty. So, the little bottle of something it shouldn't have been drinking. What is this? This is, oh, it's a little blurb about Heartwood. Well, that's sweet. I'll have to read that afterwards. Oh, there's a tiny little spider. Is that jumping spider kind? I don't know. We don't have those where I live. The winding. Coming soon. Oh yeah, they usually do this, don't they? Where they have a little teaser for their next deck. Oh, this is the Fool of their next deck. Cute. Is it going to be in black and white, I wonder? Interesting. Let's see. Sneak peek of the winding, where a spider will be the Fool. Lives in an old wooden shed. Yeah, well, that, you know, yes. Spider. Cute. Alright. I mean, as spiders go, it's a cute spider, I guess. I don't, since I started gardening, I actually don't mind spiders as much as I used to. I used to really dislike them, but now, I mean, I don't really want them in my apartment. But if they want to be outside and eat the mosquitoes, they can go right ahead. Alright, this. Feeling stuck and uncertain about what's ahead, wondering which path to take, flip over and scratch the foil seal to reveal a simple yes or no answer. Huh. Okie dokie. Oh, these are like little home discovery unease. These are cute. Alright, so those are the delightful little extra bits. So that's fun. And this is the deck, and I don't think I'll like go through the whole thing because people have done that already before, and my lighting's not phenomenal at the moment. But it's, I'll zoom in a little bit. It's super cute. I mean, of course it's ridiculously cute. All of the decks are just simultaneously gorgeous and adorable. Like, look at that with the little mouse and all the pomegranates. A little bird with the crown and the scroll. Oh, there's an oak leaf and acorn on the bed headboard. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through this. at a leisurely pace. One of these days, I've looked through some of them kind of in a hurry because they are just so cute as soon as I got it. But I think this is from Ogesh and Thorn, that picture. So just outrageously cute. Oh, that's sweet. It's a horse and a little mouse. Okay. When the snake first. Okay. Okay. I mean, you might be brave or you might be lunch, but it's cute. For like, would I have guessed I would have called a mouse and a snake cute? No, but also they manage. Ooh, a little mouse found the sewing room. It's just adorable. So yeah, those are the 2 decks I've got. I may add an addendum onto the end of this video if I get the game Marseille before the end of the month, because it's in Vancouver, I think, at the moment. So it might get here in the next couple of days, because that's not so very far away, although, you know, customs and postal services. I got mail today. So this is the game Marseille, which just arrived today. I'm very excited about it. It's so pretty. I was slightly tempted to get the guidebook, but it's more expensive to get it in Canada, so I thought, well, I guess not. But look at how pretty that is. I love it. I love the colors. I've been looking for a this is gonna sound funny to say, but a quote-unquote traditional Marseille, because I have, oh, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's very abstract and not at all traditional. And this one looks more in the style of Marseille, except for all the deviations, which are fun. And the color palette, which I much prefer. It's got the pink and the purple and everything, and it's just, and of course much more diversity, which sort of goes without saying, with Charlie Claire Burgess. But this is their first deck that I've gotten. The Fifth Spirit didn't quite do it for me, so this was my first one, and I'm very excited. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it yet, because I haven't gone through it yet. What does that say? Lingua ignota. I don't know what ignota means. I'll have to look that up. But I mean, how cool is this? That is the only live, laugh sign I will accept from now on. An anarchist emperor. That's fun. I like this Pope. Drag Story Hour with the purple hair. It's excellent. I think one of my favorites that I saw was it the Moon? I mean, they're all amazing. Yeah, that's pretty great. I just going to enjoy this, and I've read the Untold Tarot and Camellia Elias's book, but there's another Marseille book that I've got. I love the crone situation going on here. It's great with those skeleton feet. Yeah, okay, sure, why not? Anyway, and Frida Kahlo. I love Frida, and she is perfect for strength. It's so good. So yeah, I'm excited to do more Marseille learning. I'd considered getting a more traditional Marseille deck, but I don't know. Something about the traditional, is it woodblock? Oh, I love this card too. It's fantastic. Just doesn't quite, I don't know. It doesn't speak to me at the moment. But I can go for this 100%. So there we go. I'm gonna end on the House of God. I do also appreciate both the English and the Roman, not the Roman numeral, the Arabic number. Very, very excited about this one. So that's all I've got for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.